Hello, good evening. Sex offenders and violent criminals could slip through the net because of the way British Transport Police handles intelligence. That's the warning tonight from former employees. An investigation by BBC Wales has uncovered claims that the force, which looks after our rail network, has not been sharing crucial information on potential suspects, and that's putting the public and police officers at risk. Now there are calls for an urgent inquiry. One of the whistleblowers has been speaking exclusively to our reporter, India Pollock.
John Williams and two of his colleagues worked in Cardiff for British Transport Police. Their job was to review information and intelligence the force keeps on people. Things like whether a person has a criminal record, is a suspected sex offender, or has violent tendencies. After the murders of Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman by a school caretaker in Soham in 2002, all police forces were made to share their intelligence by uploading it onto the Police National Database, or PND. It's designed to stop people like Ian Huntley, who had been accused of sex offences in the past, slipping through the net. But John Williams, a former Detective Chief Inspector, says there were dangerous flaws.
At a very basic level to start with, as I said, there were just inaccuracies. So people's names were spelt wrong, dates of birth were wrong, reference numbers from, for example, from the Police National Computer were wrong or were missing. There was certainly one that I recall of a sex offender whose information had been attached to somebody else with a similar name.
And what are the potential risks?
So it has to be. That's why PND was brought into being, was to prevent that ever happening again. And the worst case scenario has to be that BTP holds intelligence on an individual that could be key to either solving or preventing another Soham.
It was the job of John Williams and his two colleagues to identify problems with the data in the systems and to let other people know so that inaccuracies could be corrected and information with no policing purpose to be deleted. They claim they realised quickly that there were problems. 11,000 electronic records held on people that should have been deleted but weren't. Allegations of possible corruption of the crime figures that weren't investigated for around 8 months. And, according to a document seen by BBC Wales, 10,000 boxes of information dating back to 2006 are being kept in storage but not indexed. John says the problems could have also put frontline police officers at risk.
In the worst case scenario, the consequences could be that officer finds themselves seriously injured, or God forbid, even dead, because if you're going to research someone before you go and speak to them at their home address, for example, then if the information you're being provided is inaccurate and doesn't tell you what you need to know about that individual, the consequences when you go there are immeasurable.
When John Williams was working here, he reported the allegations a number of times. He and his two colleagues became so frustrated at the lack of action that they went to the force's head of capability and resources. The day after they met with him, they were told that they were being investigated for bullying. They were suspended in August and resigned in October. They're now taking a case against BTP for constructive dismissal.
I have no doubt that the raising of complaints, of issues as to just how bad the data management processes are in BTP is a significant factor in the allegations being made against us.
And now, as a result of our investigation, British Transport Police are being called to answer questions in Parliament tomorrow.
We are calling the Chief Constable of the British Transport Police to give evidence to the committee about why this information is so unclear and why action has not been taken to make this database fit for purpose. But more importantly, why the very people who've brought this to the attention of the authorities should be punished instead of being praised.
British Transport Police says its chief constable welcomes the opportunity to inform the Home Affairs Select Committee of its responsibilities for information recording and retention. It says after John Williams and his team carried out a review in January last year, it put in place measures to ensure its records are appropriately linked to the police national database. The force also says it intends to resist all allegations that staff were treated unfairly after raising concerns about the management of data. For John Williams and his colleagues, it's been a long and difficult journey so far. They hope that tomorrow's evidence session in Parliament will shed new light on what the future holds.